Hello, this week we're looking at number 8 in our series on In the Crucible with Christ. This is entitled Seeing the Invisible. We're given material in Isaiah, John, Romans, Ephesians and so on. But immediately we talk about seeing the invisible. I think of that wonderful story in 2 Kings of Elisha and his servant. You remember the story. The king of Aram is really tired of Elisha passing on to the king of Israel all his intentions. It's a issue of military conflict, and Elisha is the one who is helping the king of Israel, and the king of Aram is absolutely sick and tired of what's going on and wants to get rid of Elisha. So he finds out eventually that Elisha is in Dothan. He surrounds the town, and when Elisha and his servant wake up in the morning, they find that the town is surrounded. It says there in verse 14, so he, that's the king of Aram, sent horses, chariots, and a large army. They came at night and surrounded the town. Early in the morning, when the servant of the man of God got up, he went out and saw an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. "Oh, my master, what are we going to do?" he asked Elisha. Elisha replied, "Don't be afraid, for there are many more who are with us than there are with them." And that's an easy thing to say. We can claim that kind of promise, but where's the evidence? And Elisha's servant must have been looking around saying, well, I don't see anything. How can you say that there's more with us than there are with them? So Elisha prays, verse 17, "Lord, please open his eyes so he can see." The Lord opened the servant's eyes, and when he looked, he saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. He suddenly could see the invisible. And I want to take that image and apply it to ourselves today. How can we see the invisible? We look around us, we see the physical world, we experience all the aspects of our lives, and we get the information through our senses. But what about the invisible? What about the spiritual? So many people say, well, you can't prove anything. That's out there. That's metaphysical. In other words, beyond the physical. And how can we really know that any of that is actually true? And I want to think about that for a moment. As I look around this world, there are many wonderful things, and we learn about it, we store information, we have our experiences, we interact with people, we have our family, we discover things in our school time and in our education beyond that. Are you really telling me that this is it? My mind rebels against the whole idea that this is just all we have, that we come in to this life, we live and we die and there's nothing. I'm not just talking about life beyond this life. I'm talking about meaning and purpose and a relationship with the God who made us. For to my mind, we are created beings. We are not some product of some slow evolutionary process. It, to me, is unthinkable that the complexity of the human mind alone could develop from a single-celled organism. And where did that come from either? And where did the universe come from? The Big Bang and all the rest of that. To me, as a scientist, it is not scientific. Have we ever seen anything spontaneously come out of nothing? No, that's never been observed. We have no proof for that whatsoever. So, as a theory, you might choose to believe it because you don't want to think about the alternative. But for me, a creator who is involved in this world and in the spiritual world, more importantly, that is so incredibly significant. So let's think about the invisible. What you can't see, what you can't touch, what you can't hear. Thinking about how God works to touch us in a way that works through our minds in a spiritual dimension. Love, all the virtues, goodness, caring, all those things that make us truly human. Let's think about what God does for us in the spiritual realm this week.